best generation ever to have passed through the oceans of life is the generation of the Prophet. And this is not by any opinion poll or the utterances of a media anchor. This is by the tongue of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the Rasul says on multiple occasions, Khayrun nasi qarni, Khayrul ummati qarni, Khayrul quruni qarni. The best generation is my generation. The best people, the people of my time. And the question for me and you to figure out is, why were they dubbed as the best of generations? But before that, it is important for you to be able to see the level of the Sahabi, because uttering best by itself doesn't quantify it, doesn't qualify it. So I'll give you certain ahadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam so that you could gauge the level of the Sahabi. So listen to this hadith. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, يَغْزُو فِئَامٌ مِّنَ النَّاسِ. A group of people will be in a campaign. There will be a struggle and it will be deadlock. This side will be able to win, nor will this side. Stalemate. And then the leader asks, أَفِيكُمْ مَنْ رَأَى رَسُولُ اللَّهِ. Is there in this gathering someone that has laid eyes on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Is there someone here who sahaba Rasulullah, who was a companion of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? So a person will say, I saw the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I am a companion of the Rasul. So the Rasul says, Allah will give you victory, because amidst you exists someone that has laid eyes upon you. Do you see the sharaf of suhbah? That their level is such that by them merely existing amidst you, the gates of victory and help and assistance from the heavens opens. And then the Rasul says, a time will come, this generation will go, another generation will come, and then there will be a deadlock again. No side is victorious. So the leader will ask, أَفِيكُمْ مَنْ رَأَى Rasulullah. Is there someone in this gathering who saw a person who saw the Prophet of Allah? So they will say, a person will say, I saw a Sahabi. I saw a Sahabi. So the Rasul says, Allah will give victory because amidst you exists someone that laid eyes on someone who laid eyes on me. This is the maqam of suhbah. And just so that you know, the thought goes across our heads and hearts, that why should a Sahabi be at such a maqam? I will worship as much as him, give sadaqah as much as him, strive as much as him. I must be able to reach the same level. The Rasul says, alayhi afdalu salatu wa atammu taslim. If you were to give the mountain of Uhud in gold, you've been to Hajj and Umrah, you have seen the mountain Uhud. That isn't a hill, it's a mountain. The mountain of Uhud in gold, and I will guarantee from my limited heart, none of you here will give half a mountain in gold. You know, you wouldn't give a ton. Where does it exist? Where did you get a ton and half a ton of gold? Do you understand? So it was never, but even if you did do it, the Rasul says, alayhi afdalu salatu wa atammu taslim, that if one of my companions give a handful of dates in sadaqah, your mountain of gold will not be able to match the handful of the dates of my companions. So فَأَيْنَ النُّورُ السُّهَى مِنْ شَمْسِ الضُّحَى. How do you compare the light of a candle to the glowing sun? They were the ashab of the Prophet. Listen to this hadith. The Rasul says, طُوبَى لِمَنْ رَآنِي. Glad tidings to those that saw me. And then طُوبَى لِمَنْ رَأَى مَنْ رَآنِي. Glad tidings to those that saw the ones that saw me. Do you see? This is maqam of suhbah. So this, then our level compared to this, you gauge it. But how did they reach this level? What were their competencies and traits and abilities and capabilities is what I want to talk about. so we could aspire to become a fraction of what they were, so that we could get a fraction of what they got. And my dear ones, I searched the books, and in my humble analysis, these are the points I want to share with you in the few minutes available to me. The first of the qualities of the ashab was their iman. Their iman was at a level where mine and your iman hasn't reached. First of all, what is iman? You know, we learn it as kids. Al-imanu billah wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rusulihi wal yawmil akhir. The tenets of iman, to believe in Allah, and to believe al-imanu billah wa malaikatihi, and the books. A lot of them are unseen. But the belief for the ashab was a reality. For our time, it's an abstract notion. When the Rasul talked to the ashab about the akhirah, when he talked to them about Jannah and Jahannam, the companions believed it like as though they were in it. So when the Prophet talked about Jahannam, the ahadith record, the ashab would cry till their beards soaked wet and the water dripped to their feet. You know when that happens? When Jahannam is a reality to you greater than your current reality. There are stories of the ashab. You know, a sahabi went on a campaign, long campaign, away from family, wife and kids. After a long time came back, and as is the sunnah, and may Allah Rabbul Izzah teach me and you the sunnah and the following of the sunnah. Say Ameen, Muslims. So as is the sunnah, he went to the masjid first. So to inform the family, I am coming, and learn this hikmah. If you travel, call home and say, listen, I'm arriving in a day's time or 2 days' time. Simply because a traveler, when traveling, imagines a reception, imagines open arms, imagines, do you understand me? And if you haven't informed, you come to a house in which people are busy in the daily chores. It's an anticlimax for you and a disturbance for the family. They're not in the mental state to receive you, your wife and your kids. You're in the mental state of royal treatment. It's a point of conflict. It's a flashpoint. So the Rasul taught us, inform them, so now the wife is anticipating, the kids are anticipating, they run out to meet the dad. You can imagine the wife has prepared, you know, my husband's coming after a long time. So the husband comes, hugs and greets the kids and meets the wife, and then darkness of the night falls and the wife goes to bed anticipating the husband to come. So this husband says, listen, can I just pray 2 rak'ah before coming to bed? So he started Allahu Akbar and went into salah and zoned out of salah at the adhan of Fajr. So the wife says, you went, you campaigned, you were away from home and family, you came back, you met the near and dear, don't I have a haqq? So he says, you do, it's true. But I started reciting the verses of Jannah and I got lost in Jannah and came out at Fajr. Do you see, Jannah was a reality for them. They looked at it as you look at real estate. They gauged it as you gauge real estate. They planned for it as you plan for your house.